Thank you, Reverend Bird. Hello, everyone. On behalf of all the deans, Dean Mapstone, Dean Mink, Dean Green, and our office colleagues, Tammy Van Sickle and Gretchen Marr, welcome. As we think about what we are celebrating today, your academic experience, I want to think back a few days ago to your first interactions with the deans on Sunday as you prepared to pick up your key. That is how most students meet us at orientation, on the way to get their room key as they're preparing to move in. But even more importantly than settling into your residence hall, from our perspective as academics, is signing in as a student scholar. We may have prodded you to get a picture of the moment that you signed the Hobart and William Smith matriculation book for your entering cohort. And that prodding is because that moment connects you with the academic community of Hobart and William Smith College, past and present. Matriculation books date back to at least the 14th century in Europe. The books included the names and privileges of the members of the college or university, and originally included all faculty and all students. In other words, the matriculation book was meant to be the formal recognition of you as a member of a college community that was dedicated to the collection, evaluation, and dissemination of knowledge. For a student, it meant the intention of earning a degree for the college, but it's also a commitment to the academic and ethical values of that community. In asking you to sign the matriculation book, we, your deans, we're hoping to awaken in you a sense of curiosity about what will be possible for you in the next 40 years, and beyond that, the next 40 years. You may not have felt transformed in that moment, but by becoming a student at HWS, you have given yourself an opportunity to author your path forward, to flourish, to live intentionally, ethically, and an intellectually grounded life, one connected to this place and its history. Indeed, the history of the colleges is storied. In the 1890s, Hobart College held large academic and missionary meetings in Convocation Hall, and convocation addresses marking educational progress have been an annual staple in Hobart and William Smith College's history since the early 20th century, which is to say that there is so much continuity and growth at the colleges, and now you get to be part of that transformation with your own development over these next 4 years. As the Italian scholar and writer Umberto Eco has written, higher education is not simply gathering information, but is the critical elaboration of an experience. Through study, students acquire the capacity to identify problems, confront them methodically, and articulate them systematically in expository detail. Eco goes on to assert that these skills, these academic skills, will serve students for a lifetime. Like the distinguished alumni, professors, deans, and staff who grace this campus before us, our current academic community is committed to the process of living and of being intellectually engaged for a lifetime. Their impact on this place is evident in the very structure of the colleges. Consider Blackwell Residence Hall, which is named for Dr. Elizabeth Blackwell, who is famous for being the very first woman to receive a medical degree in the country. And she received that degree from Geneva Medical College, which later became Hobart College. And consider Alger Adams Intercultural Center, named for Alger Adams, the alumnus who was the first Black graduate of Hobart College, who majored in Greek, English, and psychology in 1932, graduating magna cum laude and named to Phi Beta Kappa. The decades since are storied with even more intrepid academics, student scholars, and more institutional change and growth. And here you sit now. Your entrance into this academic community begins to take shape tomorrow as you enter its classrooms and residence halls, the library, our faculty offices, as you grapple with your courses and the new ideas, social theories, scientific methodologies, and humanistic research you encounter in them. So I'm going to tell you 3 things to remember during these early weeks of our academic year. I'll make a deal with you. You can count it as a deal with all the deans. And then I'm going to set a task for you. Of the things to tell you, the first is the most important. You belong here. Each one of you has an academic place here as much as everyone else. There is nothing you need to prove or justify about being here. You have earned being here, and you can build an academic home for yourself here. Whether you have come from across the country, across an ocean, or from down the road, whether you have relatives who went to college here before, or you're the first generation in your family to go to college, each one of you has earned the opportunity to be here, and each one of you can develop intellectual and social belonging on this campus. Make this place uniquely yours. And HWS is so fortunate to have you join our academic community. We are grateful for all that you bring to the college campus. For it is in every one of you who inspires, challenges, enlightens, and energizes us, the deans, the faculty, staff, alumni, and our Geneva neighbors. You are the source of our inspiration. The second thing I'm going to tell you, and this is important, you will be very busy here. True learning that leads to intellectual growth happens by facing challenges and some struggle, inside and outside the classroom. There's nothing wrong if you find yourself having to work harder in classes or with assignments than you ever have before. In fact, that probably means there's something very right. Working hard and learning to enjoy the hard work means you are taking advantage of the opportunities the college is offering you. You should expect to read more, write more, and learn how to read and engage text differently and more actively than you have in the past. Reading in college is the substantive part of what we mean by studying. The third thing I'll tell you is that you can rise to these challenges. You can do this work. I know this because you've made it here. Your learning, resilience, perseverance, and courage up to this moment got you to our campus. So next, I want to make a deal with you. When you want more for your opportunities here, agree to tell us. And we will connect you with faculty and other colleagues on campus who can continue to broaden and deepen your academic life here. That may involve conducting research with guidance from faculty. It may mean preparing rigorously so that you can participate in an honors project. It may mean that you develop an internship or study abroad experience with key subjects of interest. Your deans and your faculty advisors want to know you. They want to know what you envision for your academic life here. And as that changes, they want to know that too. So if there are times when the challenges feel like they are coming all at once, or when things become overwhelming, well, then you've already started to meet the faculty, the deans, and staff who are here to help you and work with you to get you where you want to go, even if you don't know yet where that is or how you will get there. So that's the deal. Since we can't guess and we can't read your minds, you will let us know when you want something more or deeper or new. Come to us and we will figure out how to help you. Your faculty, your CAs, your deans, your orientation mentors, all of us who you have met and will continue to see on this campus, we are all here with you. And lastly, I want to give you some advice as you prepare for tomorrow's and this week's classes. Now is the time to be curious, to be interested, to discover life in all its forms and the mind and the many ways it relates to life. It is time to explore and think, to talk and write, and to do so expansively and deeply and critically. You are off on an adventure here, and we hope that you embrace it, that you enjoy it. I can't wait to see what you make of your time here. My final words are directed to our newly arrived transfer students. You come with foundational college experiences, and you are seeking something new here as well. Please know that when you need us, we are here. We are deans, the college alumni, staff, and faculty, your fellow students here today. We all are connected to this place, and there's a spirit of care, of curiosity, and of belonging that this connection spurs. So seek us out, seek out what is genuine, listen to your voice, and look for experiences that will bring you happiness and well-being, and that will deepen your learning. Pursue the academic adventures and paths most engaging for you. May this year be one in which you feel a sense of belonging and genuineness as you get to know yourself as a member of the Hobart and William Smith academic community. Welcome to you all and best wishes as you begin the year. It is now my privilege to welcome to the podium Provost and Dean of Faculty Sarah Kirk, who has oversight of the faculty and the academic direction of Hobart and William Smith. Thank you, Kelly. I want to say thank you to all of you. Thank you for your early engagement, for your community building, for your acts of service within our community, for your engagement in the classroom. I've heard wonderful things about you already. I just want to encourage you to continue to engage and have a fabulous year. It is now my pleasure to introduce our faculty speaker today. Matt Church, Dr. Matt Church, graduated from Hobart College, Hobart and William Smith in 2014. He's one of our proud alums, and we are so very proud of all he has already accomplished. After leaving HWS, he went to Cornell, where he earned his master's and PhD in theoretical chemistry. He came back to us in 2022 to teach physical chemistry, and his scholarship is really at the intersection of computer science and chemistry. And I encourage you to come find him and learn more about his experience. While he was at HWS, he was not just a chemist. He took religion courses and really took full advantage of the liberal arts education. I hope you will do so as well. So it is now my pleasure to introduce Dr. Matt Church.
Thank you, Provost Kirk, my fellow colleagues. So great to be with you all today, and know I'm fired up for the current semester. Hope you guys are too. I have a unique position to be here not only as a faculty member, but as an alum of HWS as well. It was 14 years ago I was sitting out there as a first-generation student, mostly unaware of what I was getting into. A little nervous, but mostly excited, just hours away from starting down a path that this school continues to carve out for me. So I've seen several sides of this school over the years, and I wish I could share with you 1,000 points of advice. A long list of reasons why this school truly is worth it. But I only have a couple of minutes, so I'll leave with you just a few thoughts. It might take some time to realize it, but as students, you're starting a time of numerous opportunities. Not just to train for your career, but to make lasting connections with people. To broaden your perspective of an infinitely complicated world. So I suggest to keep a few things in mind as we move forward. Find your comfort zone in the classroom, with your peers, everywhere else, and push those boundaries. Put yourself in unfamiliar territory and take a leap of faith. I promise you'll be surprised at what you can achieve, what you can feel, the confidence you'll find if you take a leap of faith into the unknown, despite all those little voices in and around your head that tell you otherwise. Many of you, I'm sure, have a plan in mind for your career to be the next doctor, entrepreneur, scientist, psychologist, whatever. If you have a plan in mind, that's great. If you don't, that's great too. Regardless of that, I invite you to keep your mind open and receptive to everything along the way. I was a chemistry major here. To this day, I wouldn't go back and change that. But some of the most fascinating and impactful classes that I took here at HWS were in other departments. In the religious studies department, for example, I took classes that to this day still shape my understanding of the world and my place inside it. And I'm not even a particularly religious person. In Russian area studies, I took a class with Professor Galloway called Russian Prison Literature, where I found a passion for world history that I still carry with me. Chemistry is still amazing to me, but these other experiences outside my comfort zone put together a perspective of the world, a history of human culture that was bigger and more awesome than I ever could have imagined. So regardless of your plans or lack thereof, I advise you to keep an open mind and explore everything. As my favorite physicist once wrote, Richard Feynman, nearly everything is really interesting if you go into it deeply enough. The other mindset I advise you to keep in mind concerns the faculty here at HWS. You have a faculty here that truly cares about your success. And believe me, that's saying a lot. The big universities are great, right? I've been there. You get a fine education just like you do here. But student success isn't always the top priority at other schools. And it is here, I can tell you that. We want to get to know you. We want to write you glowing letters of recommendation. We want you to succeed in every aspect of your life. So this is another opportunity for you to seize. Make use of us. Make the most of your time with us. Go and visit office hours, chat with your professors, get to know them, show us what you're made of, and be fearless with your questions. We will help you every step of the way. We live in an extraordinary time, in an extraordinary world with monumental problems that we all need to face head on. But I invite you to keep in mind that this world was built by people who were no more intelligent, no more capable than each of you. You just need to step into the unknown with an open and receptive mind, and you can accomplish anything. Thank you all for listening. My office is in Lansing 206. Please feel free to stop by and say hello, even if you aren't taking chemistry. Just like the rest of the faculty here and the deans, I'll always be available to chat if you have any questions at all. It's my pleasure now to introduce Sophia McGall from the class of 2025, who serves as the president of HWS Student Government.
Good afternoon. It's my pleasure to be speaking to you as a representative of student leadership on campus. Convocation, as has been mentioned by the speakers preceding me, is an event that marks the beginning of the academic year and has a special focus on the intellectual experience at the colleges. Throughout the week, as an orientation mentor and a community assistant, numerous first-year students have asked me, what is your favorite thing about HWS? And my reply has been, a unique opportunity to engage with and be mentored by faculty. When I arrived at HWS during my first year, like you all, I was placed in a class by the dean's office based on a preference form I submitted over the summer. Little did I know that this chance placement would forever alter my academic trajectory. I found myself in a religious studies class on Judaism with Professor Michael Dubkowski. Throughout the course, I became completely fascinated by the study of religion. Professor Dubkowski saw my interest and passion for the subject and nurtured it. He nominated my final class paper for the first year writing prize, and with his advice and support, my paper ended up winning. This would begin a close mentor-mentee relationship with Professor Dubkowski and a connection with the entire religious studies department that has immeasurably enriched my academic experience here at HWS. Through these relationships, I've had the opportunity to engage in transformative experiences. Last summer, I participated in a trip which explored pre-World War II Jewish life in Germany and Poland and Holocaust remembrance in these countries, led by HWS faculty, including Professors Dubkowski, Salter, and Gervais. Following this seminal experience, I secured an internship this past summer in Krakow, Poland, with the Galicia Jewish Museum, an institution we visited during this trip. This internship, supported by a scholarship from Career Services, served as an incredible complement to my studies and allowed me to contribute to the museum's important mission. My passion for religious studies and the connections I made within the department also led me to pursue another unique experience at the colleges, a year-long honors project under the guidance of Professor Richard Salter, which explored the emergence of Christian folk music in the 1960s. And with HWS's deeply held and long-standing commitment to academic excellence, it may come as no surprise that my story is not an outlier. If you stop an upperclassman walking down Pulteney Street, I can bet they have a similar story to mine. Because HWS is a place that not only helps you find your intellectual passions, but is a place that does everything it can to help nurture them. Forming academic connections with faculty, staff, and other students has the potential to propel your academic and intellectual journey far past what you could ever imagine, as it did for me. There's a quote from the first century Greek philosopher Plutarch, which reminds me of the pedagogical approach of our faculty at HWS. Plutarch wrote, "For the correct analogy for the mind is not a vessel that needs filling, but wood that needs igniting." So if there's one piece of advice I have for you, it would be to find what sparks your curiosity and take advantage of the countless resources on campus that can kindle this flame. Wishing you the best of luck as classes begin tomorrow, and I would now like to call to the podium the Executive Director of Alumni and Alumni Relations, Chevy Devaney. In addition to being an alum, Chevy is married to an alum, and they are parents of 2 recent graduates. afternoon, beautiful people. I know it's hot. We'll get you out of here soon. As a member of the graduating class of 1995, and on behalf of the 23,000 alumni around the globe, it is my privilege to welcome you all to Hobart and William Smith, a place so many of us hold dear in our hearts, due in large part to the individuals you will encounter during your time on campus. I arrived at Hobart and William Smith in the fall of 1991 with a suitcase in one hand and the anticipation of the American dream in the other. I soon realized that the people here were as interested in helping me attain that dream as I was in doing so. But to my surprise, they were also interested in my personal growth. They were interested in who I was and who I wanted to be. You will find this to remain true today as it was almost 30 years ago. The alumni of Hobart and William Smith are an extension of the caring community you will find here on campus. I believe in you and the education and guidance you will receive here. Over the course of your time on campus, you will greet alumni as guest lecturers in your classes, as internship providers, mentors, cheerleaders at athletic and academic events, professors, donors of named scholarships. We are here to support your goals, dreams, and aspirations, and look forward to meeting you at various intervals along the respective journeys here at Hobart William Smith. I ask that you take care of each other, exercise patience, be curious, step outside your comfort zone, and open your eyes and hearts to the possibilities you will find here. Welcome to Hobart and William Smith and to the city of Geneva. We're happy to have you here.
Well, with my thanks to all of the speakers here, and with the introduction of two who join us on the platform party, you've met one of our student trustees earlier this week, Anjali, who gave remarks on Sunday. She's joined by her fellow student trustee, Alex Karpowitz, and I thank them all for their remarks here today. But as we near the formal conclusion here of orientation, in the beginning of classes tomorrow, you've heard really thoughtful remarks today and throughout the week. But allow me just one brief final word. These past days of orientation have been intentionally designed and organized to welcome you, to orient you to campus and to the city of Geneva, animated by spark projects and games and hot air balloon rides, meetings with your first year seminar instructors, important opportunities to reflect on our campus values of belonging and our commitment to service to the city of Geneva, and of course, to see the talents of the orientation team at last night's variety show at the Smith Opera House. Mary and I enjoyed it, and I was disturbed by the highly accurate impersonation of Mark Guerin. Yes. I don't know where Saoirse is, but we will have our conversation here. Much too accurate and a boring presentation. But you've also received some important advice today and last Sunday. It started Sunday with your orientation coordinators. Jillian spoke thoughtfully as a first-generation student to attend a four-year college on how she found at Hobart and William Smith her love of philosophy and dance with the Kinetic Dance Club. Joey spoke about seeing this institution as a place where you can find your path, but it starts with a conversation. And for him, it was with a faculty member that led to his academic interest and eventually to his study in Italy. Anjali built upon this conversation and advice, noting that relationships really work best when it's a 50-50 effort, and therefore the importance of taking that leap of faith to begin a conversation. Provost Kirk urged you to remember the importance of balance, and to try new academic fields in the dazzling array of liberal arts and sciences curriculum here. Today, Dean Payne reminded you that you belong here, that you will be busy here, but that you can do this work, and all four Hobart and William Smith deans are deeply committed to your academic success. Professor Church, reflecting on his own HWS education, as a first-generation student, urged you to seize opportunities here and to push the boundaries of your comfort zone, and, speaking for the faculty, urge you to seek out the faculty who are deeply committed to your success. Chevy Devaney, talking about her own journey here with a suitcase in hand and that American dream as her inspiration, spoke to you as head of our alums at the whole rich, diverse group of graduates around the country and around the world who are also committed to your success. And finally, Sophia's good advice spoke to the importance of going forward and looking at the curiosity and taking advantage of the opportunities here. All good advice, all that you've had. To me, it shares a common theme, that the college that you have enrolled in, that the classes that you begin this week, that the faculty, staff, coaches, alums, and Geneva neighbors that you will meet are all dedicated to one thing: your success. Hobart and William Smith is frequently described as a relationship-rich environment, and it is. And we are ambitious for your future and for the difference you will make in the world. And in many ways, that ambition, that ethos of ambition, is rooted in our very history and our founding. In 1822, Bishop John Henry Hobart arrived here to the shores of Seneca Lake at what, at that time in our nation's history, was the frontier of America, with the improbable dream to found a college. Years later, in 1908, William Smith, an immigrant to our nation, but inspired by the women's rights activism in our region, and well into his 70s, had the improbable dream to found a women's college, years before women had been given the right to vote and equality under law. That same ambition is found, as Dean Payne said, in graduates, from Elizabeth Blackwell to Alger Adams, who come to Geneva from across the nation, from across the world, in good times and in bad, in war and peace and depression, in epidemics and strife, have come to Geneva, New York for their education. But for me, all those stories, as important as they are, the history of this institution, from Bishop Hobart and William Smith originally, says and demonstrates to me the power of an idea. They both had big ambitions, big ideas, and that's our heritage. That's our legacy. This is an amazing place. It's a special place. And as have so many here and others have advised you, take advantage of it. The former dean used to remind students at these exercises that you have 4 falls and 4 springs in Geneva. That's your college career. 4 falls, 4 springs. Take advantage of it. In a conversation I had this summer with an alum who had just returned from climbing the Alps, he told me his approach to climbing, and I found it fascinating. It may have some resonance for you as you begin your climb towards a college degree. His approach was this, and it's resonant with some of the remarks today, of options, not a plan. He told me he feels more alive and free and in touch with the earth and its magnificence when he doesn't have a rigid plan. He prefers, in his climb, to see what each step offers in terms of new opportunity, new perspective, new options. That for him, that makes life more interesting, and he believes presents more opportunities. That said, of course, you have to make good choices and to learn to adjust to those options, but to learn from them. So you're here at an interesting time in our history. We go into our 3rd century at Hobart and William Smith. a large class selected from a pool of candidates more than any other time in the history of the institution. Coming here from 32 states, 13 nations, 5 continents. First-year students just beginning their undergraduate journey. Transfer students coming from community colleges or other four-year colleges. And especially a welcome to those students from Wells College as you begin your journey here. But as the traditional motto of the United States reads on our currency, on many state flags in Latin, E pluribus unum, translated, out of many, one. So today, on the eve of the academic year, at these exercises of Convocation, we begin this year in organization, in design, in spirit, and in focus as one. One HWS. Your HWS. Good luck. I invite you to sign the beautiful banners here, a great tradition here. I wish you all the very best for the academic year ahead. This brings to a close the exercises of Convocation, and I thank the members of the platform party for their thoughtful remarks. Good luck.